Now at 9, authorities in Parsons arrest a suspect after finding illegal drugs in a business. Plus, the Lafayette House in Joplin receives a grant from the Ozarks Food Harvest.
Former President Trump can't catch a break with his legal troubles, with some groups now fighting to keep him off the presidential ballot. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the latest coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Independence, Kansas investigate a deadly shooting. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The shooting happened this morning in the 1100 block of West Cedar. When officers arrived, they found 37-year-old Jason York of Independence with a gunshot wound. He died at the scene. Police have not yet arrested anyone in this case. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at your Halloween forecast.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a cold one for us today. Even though the sunshine returned, we only made it up to 43 degrees. Started at 27, should be topping out at 65 for this time of the year. And you can see our temperatures dropping back into the upper 20s. It's going to be a cold night for us tonight. Another hard freeze across the region, but we do have the clear skies, which is nice to see. And the winds are diminishing just a little bit, but it may get a little bit colder even for Halloween. So we're going to look at that forecast all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. On Wednesday, Kansas and Missouri will begin enforcement of their cold weather rules. There are slight differences between the states, but both prevent utility companies from disconnecting a customer's electricity and natural gas during freezing temperatures. Oklahoma's rule is in effect year-round. It's just temperature-based. For more details, go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities have filed charges after the Labette County, Kansas Sheriff's Office seized narcotics while executing a search warrant at a tobacco shop in Parsons. Authorities executed 3 search warrants at the tobacco store called Hashtag and 2 homes nearby. Officers seized about 9 pounds of marijuana, 4 ounces of methamphetamine, 2 grams of suspected fentanyl, and $18,000 cash. The 3 warrants were issued after an 8-month investigation by the Sheriff's Office. Authorities arrested Dorian L. Allen during the search. He's charged with distribution of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, distribution within 1,000 feet of a school, and 2 more charges.
We'd had information that they were selling marijuana out of the business, and that's kind of what got this started. The 2 houses that we had done would have been the 2, one of them was the owner and the other one that works there.
Labette County Sheriff's Office worked with the Parsons Police Department and the Kansas Department of Revenue on this case. Joplin's Lafayette House gets a grant courtesy of the Ozark Food Harvest. It's a portion of a $1 million investment Ozark Food Harvest is making in 70 organizations to relieve hunger in southwest Missouri. The Lafayette House helps provide a safe haven for survivors of domestic abuse. The grant will allow the house to buy a new refrigerator, increasing its capacity to feed families in need. Lafayette House officials say their current unit is more than 20 years old and recently quit working. Newton County residents can now sign up for Christmas food baskets from the Newton County Food Brigade. The Help Center in Neosho will be open most days through November 16th for people to sign up. Anyone can sign up. To do so, residents will need a photo ID, proof of residency, and a Social Security card for each resident of the home. For specific dates and times, you can check out the Facebook page of the Help Center. Organizers today announced the theme for this year's Christmas parade, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Freeman Health System and the City of Joplin also unveiled this year's emblem, which features a smiling snowman sitting next to a Christmas green electric guitar. Freeman has managed the city's Christmas parade since 2014. Officials say the partnership has been beneficial for all sides.
Every parade is a little different because we have a different theme and the different ways the creative juices flow. There was that one year when we didn't get to have it because of COVID, so I think that gives everyone a renewed appreciation for the parade, the ability to all gather together and just enjoy a night of magic and joy.
Money raised from the parade benefits the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. The parade is scheduled for Tuesday, December 5th. Well, officials in Craig County, Oklahoma today broke ground on the first phase of the American Heartland theme park development. It's a 350-space RV park and campground. The park is being founded by Pittsburgh native Gene Bicknell. Emery Bryan has more.
A few RVs were on the site to help people imagine what's coming, but otherwise this 320-acre parcel just east of Veneta is a blank slate. The developers broke ground today on the Three Ponies RV park with state and local officials who predict great things to come.
We've had a tremendous outpouring already, but I expect that after today our phones are going to be ringing off the hook.
Though it's ranch land now with limited development, the city intends to extend police, fire, and full utilities to the site. Three Ponies is described as a luxury RV park with a rec center and general store on site.
The developers here imagine an RV park with 750 spots and 300 cabins. It'll take 2 years to build and cost $100 million. During the construction of this, they'll break ground on the American Heartland theme park.
We're going to open that theme park in 2026. Yeah, so we're ready. We're pushing dirt today, and we hope to push dirt over there soon.
The groundbreaking is planned next spring at the earliest on the theme park, while construction will start immediately on the RV park. It's all part of a larger plan to inspire a new patriotism, according to founder Gene Bicknell.
To tell the world that we're still America and that we're going to be America and they're not going to take it away from us. So that's our whole purpose.
The developers are still in talks with the state and city about incentives for the project.
That is a lot of different conversations that are happening, but the state wants to be supportive.
The RV park alone is expected to employ 300 people when it opens in 2 years.
Well, coming up, we'll have some tips to help make Halloween less stressful for dementia patients. Tomorrow night's trick-or-treating can be fun for most of us, but not so much for people with Alzheimer's or dementia. The bright lights and constant door knocking can be frightening for people with the disease. The Greater Missouri Alzheimer's Association recommends finding something relaxing for patients to do while at home, waiting for trick-or-treaters, like reading a book or playing relaxing music. They also recommend keeping the home well lit.
We would recommend, conversely, in like keeping it a little more, keeping things very well lit, I think would be important.
And you don't want to leave Alzheimer's patients home alone tomorrow night. The association also says don't put up scary decorations at their house. More than 37 million people are living with diabetes in the U.S. It's a chronic disease that affects how your body turns food into energy, and it can cause severe damage to a person's body. Mandy Gaither has 5 ways to help prevent health problems from diabetes.
It's a common disease, but millions of Americans may not even know they have diabetes, even though early detection is critical.
As soon as you can have the diagnosis made, the sooner the proper treatment can begin.
Diabetes can damage the eyes, kidneys, nerves, and heart.
If you have high blood glucose, you're more likely to have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And those 3 factors, either independently and certainly working together, can damage the small vessels in our bodies.
You can prevent diabetes-related health problems by taking charge of your health. That includes adopting healthy lifestyle habits like a sensible diet. Physical activity and getting adequate sleep is also important, as is managing stress and taking medicines on time.
Smoking also has a detrimental effect on your small blood vessels. And so, especially with people with diabetes, we want to suggest that they try to stop smoking.
Experts say small health changes over time can make a big difference and may not be as overwhelming.
You could begin to make choices that you are more likely to stick to.
Intermittent fasting is safe and effective for people with type 2 diabetes. Researchers at the University of Illinois Chicago say trial participants who ate only between noon and 8 p.m. lost more weight compared to another group that were instructed to reduce their calorie intake by 25%. Both groups had similar drops in long-term blood sugar levels. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your Halloween forecast. And later, Missouri Southern holds its weekly press conference as the Lions look to bounce back against Emporia State.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures only went into lower 40s for afternoon highs, even though we got the sunshine like we did not have over the weekend, but clear skies right now. This is a nice shot downtown Joplin of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex building. Our tower cam right on top of that building, but clear skies will be sticking around tonight. And another cold one. Look at our lows this morning. Most of us 25, 26, 27 degrees. We did get into lower 40s, high temps right around 40 to about 43 once you got into our western counties. And if we look right now, we're cooling right back down, upper 20s, mid 20s to near 30. So another hard freeze during the overnight hours. Freeze warnings in effect. Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri not under the freeze warnings because you got your hard freeze, your first one of the season last night. Kind of breezy today. Those northerly winds, they have calmed down a little bit, but we'll pick right back up as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. So through tonight, holding into the 20s. Overnight low 26, sunshine back to 34 by 10 a.m. And clear skies, not a whole bunch going on, at least upstairs for the next several days. The entire Central Plains look good. Here's our storm system that rolled through over the weekend. And if you look out toward the west, not a whole bunch going on. So we're going to be pretty quiet as we go through this entire work week, and we should stay on the dry side. All right, let's go through time. We'll stop tomorrow morning, mid-20s, so a cold start. Northerly winds pick up throughout the day. We get a weak little front, upper 30s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, here's 4:30. High temps right around 40, 41, 42 degrees. As we go into tomorrow evening, temperatures quickly drop back right around 30 degrees, and then eventually we plummet all the way down into lower 20s by Wednesday morning. Wednesday, we get southerly winds, and this will start our warming trend for the rest of the week. A little bit better as we go into the upper 40s to near 50 by the time Wednesday afternoon rolls around. Halloween planner 28 to start, 37 by noon, 40 by 4 p.m. High temp right around 42 degrees. And of course, if you're getting out tomorrow evening, trick or treating, at least we're going to be dry, but you're going to have to bundle up by 5:37 down to 30 by 7 p.m. Then we quickly drop into the 20s after about 7:30 or 8 p.m. for us tomorrow. But we do start to warm back up. Look at this. Thursday, we press 60. On Friday, we get back into the mid-60s, and that's where we should be for this time of the year. It's just abnormally a little bit cold for us right now. 43 tomorrow, 49 on Wednesday, 58 on Thursday, back to 65 Friday. We may get a few showers as we head into the weekend, but all week really looks dry and looks pretty good. It's just a little bit cool for the next few days.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to make it through these cold days.
It will, definitely will.
I'm looking forward to a return of fall.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, a massive strike coming to an end.
General Motors has reportedly reached a tentative deal with the United Auto Workers Union, which could effectively end the strike. I'm Grady Trimble in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
The Department of Education is fining one of the country's largest student loan servicers for sending late statements to borrowers. The U.S. Department of Education says MOHELA, or the Missouri Higher Education Loan Authority, failed to send timely statements to 2.5 million borrowers. That delay caused more than 800,000 people to be delinquent on their loans. The Education Department is now withholding a $7.2 million October payment to MOHELA. The Biden administration is taking another shot at creating a new student loan forgiveness program. And while the program is in the very early stages, the Department of Education announced 4 groups of borrowers are being considered for eligibility. That includes those who currently have balances bigger than what they originally borrowed and those who started repayments at least 25 years ago. Good news for your wallet. Gas prices continue to fall. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of regular gas was $3.50 yesterday. Gas is typically cheaper in the fall, and AAA says prices are following a familiar pattern. They will continue to drop as we head closer to the holidays. But the war between Israel and Hamas could change things. If the war grows into a broader regional conflict, It could eventually encompass major oil producers. The long-standing auto workers' strike is seemingly over. At the White House, President Biden confirmed a tentative deal has been reached with General Motors, the final holdout of the big three automakers. Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble has the latest from Washington.
After nearly 6 weeks of coordinated strikes against Detroit's big three automakers, the United Auto Workers Union has reportedly reached a tentative deal with all of them, effectively ending the auto union's historic battle. General Motors, the latest said to have reached a tentative deal, just days after the union announced similar contracts with Ford and Jeep maker Stellantis. President Biden, the first president to ever join a picket line, seemingly celebrated the news while boarding Air Force One, giving a thumbs up.
Great. These agreements ensure the iconic Big Three can still lead the world in quality and innovation.
The union says all three tentative contracts, which still need to be approved by a majority of UAW members, include record pay hikes and cost of living wage adjustments to offset inflation.
Our bargainers did their job. They're going to present us with something, and then we get to tell them it was good enough or it wasn't.
Before news of the GM deal surfaced, UAW President Shawn Fain Sunday put the rest of the auto industry on notice, saying come 2028, when the new contracts end, the UAW plans to unionize U.S. auto factories beyond the big three.
This contract demonstrates the incredible power that workers have when they are not afraid to use it.
While these deals may be considered a big win for the auto workers, the strikes are expected to hit car buyers' wallets. Already, Ford says the new deal could add up to $900 to the price of a new car. In Washington, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
In a statement, GM's CEO said the tentative agreement enables them to invest in the future and provide good jobs in the U.S., while adding they're looking forward to having everyone back to work and winning as one team. Up next, we'll check out a parade in California that got a bunch of pets into the Halloween spirit. It's not just people. Even family pets are dressing up for Halloween. Pets big and small got the chance to show off their best Halloween costumes at this year's Pooch Parade in Fresno, California. Dog lovers dressed up their four-legged friends for a chance to win Best Dressed Pooch. The parade also handed out trophies, ribbons, and many prizes to families and their pets. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. President Biden pushes for Congress to pass an aid package for Ukraine and Israel. Plus, Donald Trump faces another trial, this time to see if he's allowed to run for president in Colorado.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Sending money to Israel during its war against Hamas is a top priority for lawmakers, but Republicans and Democrats are already clashing on how to best do so. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
House Republicans unveiled their plan to pay for emergency aid for Israel, kicking off what will likely be a contentious battle over funding for the war-torn country.
We're going to have pay-fors in it. We're not just going to print money and send it overseas.
The GOP bill cuts $14.3 billion already allocated to the IRS and puts it towards Israel. It's the first major move for new House Speaker Mike Johnson, who doesn't want to add to the nation's debt crisis.
Do you think that will drive away some Democrats in the Senate or here in the House?
It may, but I think if you put this to the American people and they weigh the two needs, I think they're going to say standing with Israel and protecting the innocent over there is in our national interest and is a more immediate need than IRS agents.
But the GOP bill is far from what President Biden requested. The White House wants to combine aid for Israel and Ukraine and says it's not entertaining offsets for national security concerns.
These are emergency requests. That's not how it goes.
The bill also faces tough critics in the Senate who question whether taking away resources from the IRS will actually help the deficit.
This is an offset that will actually reduce revenue to the federal government, not reduce spending.
But House Republicans are behind their new leader.
The Speaker has rightfully
picked a place where we don't need to be spending money. No one in America says you can fix all America's problems or Israel's problems if we just hire more IRS agents.
The House is expected to vote on the GOP's Israel bill on Thursday. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, the Biden administration says it will spend $1.3 billion of new federal funding to help create 3 new massive electrical transmission lines. It's a bid to improve the nation's power grid and get more renewable energy into America's homes and businesses. Administration officials say the lines will bring a significant amount of new wind, solar, and Canadian hydropower onto the grid, enough to power around 3 million homes. President Biden issues an executive order on artificial intelligence, the federal government's first action of its kind. The new order addresses AI's impact on the labor market by creating new safety and security standards. The Biden administration says it also protects consumer privacy and civil rights. Biden says the action should go a long way towards protecting Americans' privacy.
This executive order is about protecting your fundamental rights to like privacy. Without safeguards, AI can put your privacy at greater risk. That's why I've called for new protections on your personal data.
The announcement comes as the United Kingdom hosts an AI safety summit later this week. Well, Halloween comes a day early at the White House. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden handed out goodies on Monday to trick-or-treaters. The ghosts and goblins were local public school students and children with connections to the military. They not only received candy, First Lady also gave the little visitors books. And the children got to take part in a spooky story time with special guests reading their favorite books of the season. Well, Trump's mounting legal troubles are intensifying, with some advocacy groups even fighting to keep him off the 2024 presidential ballot. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
As if he didn't have enough legal distractions, now former President Trump has to fight to stay on the presidential ballot. A trial began Monday in Colorado to determine if Trump should be disqualified from running in the state over his role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
Trump incited a violent mob to attack our Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power under our Constitution. We are here because Trump claims, after all that, he has the right to be president again.
The lawsuit claims Trump broke his oath of office by trying to overturn the 2020 election. He faces similar lawsuits in Michigan and Minnesota, but this is the first to go to trial.
There are millions of people in Colorado and across this country who are inspired by President Trump. Who are the petitioners to prevent those people from not being able to vote on that?
Meanwhile, Trump is also dealing with 4 criminal indictments and fraud accusations, all while running for the White House.
Every time they indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. In the end, they're not after me, they're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way.
In his federal election interference case, a judge reinstated a gag order preventing Trump from targeting any of the prosecutors or witnesses. In New York, his kids are set to take the stand this week to answer questions on fraud allegations surrounding their family companies. A Minnesota court will also hear arguments later this week about keeping Trump off the ballot. No matter the state's rulings, it's likely the U.S. Supreme Court will have the final say. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, a bit later, Carthage elementary students go to the science lab to dissect a pumpkin.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures only went into lower 40s for afternoon highs, even though we got the sunshine like we did not have over the weekend, but clear skies right now. This is a nice shot downtown Joplin of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex building. Our tower cam right on top of that building, but clear skies will be sticking around tonight. And another cold one. Look at our lows this morning. Most of us 25, 26, 27 degrees. We did get into lower 40s, high temps right around 40 to about 43 once you got into our western counties. And if we look right now, we're cooling right back down, upper 20s, mid 20s to near 30. So another hard freeze during the overnight hours. Freeze warnings in effect. Oklahoma parts of Arkansas. Kansas, Missouri not under the freeze warnings because you got your hard freeze, your first one of the season last night. Kind of breezy today. Those northerly winds, they have calmed down a little bit, but will pick right back up as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. So through tonight, holding into the 20s. Overnight low 26, sunshine back to 34 by 10 a.m. And clear skies, not a whole bunch going on, at least upstairs, for the next several days. The entire Central Plains look good. Here's our storm system that rolled through over the weekend. And if you look out toward the west, not a whole bunch going on. So we're going to be pretty quiet as we go through this entire work week, and we should stay on the dry side. All right, let's go through time. We'll stop tomorrow morning, mid-20s, so a cold start. Northerly winds pick up throughout the day. We get a weak little front. Upper 30s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, here's 4:30. High temps right around 40, 41, 42 degrees. As we go into tomorrow evening, temperatures quickly drop back right around 30 degrees, and then eventually we plummet all the way down into lower 20s by Wednesday morning. Wednesday, we get southerly winds, and this will start our warming trend for the rest of the week. A little bit better as we go into the upper 40s to near 50 by the time Wednesday afternoon rolls around. Halloween planner 28 to start, 37 by noon, 40 by 4 p.m. High temp right around 42 degrees. And of course, if you're getting out tomorrow evening, trick or treating, at least we're going to be dry, but you're going to have to bundle up by 5:37 down to 30 by 7 p.m. Then we quickly drop into the 20s after about 7:30 or 8 p.m. for us tomorrow. But we do start to warm back up. Look at this. Thursday, we press 60. On Friday, we get back into the mid-60s, and that's where we should be for this time of the year. It's just abnormally a little bit cold for us right now. 43 tomorrow, 49 on Wednesday, 58 on Thursday, back to 65 Friday. We may get a few showers as we head into the weekend, but all week really looks dry and looks pretty good. It's just a little bit cool for the next few days.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to make it through these cold days.
It will, definitely will.
I'm looking forward to a return of fall.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Doug. Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Still ahead, Missouri Southern football speaks ahead of its game this weekend at Emporia State. And the Division II regional rankings have been released. Brock Baldridge breaks down where Pitt State football ranks. That and more next in sports.
The Missouri Southern Lions are coming off of a tough loss at home last Saturday to Central Missouri. Well, doesn't get any easier there as the Lions hit the road this weekend for a game against Emporia State.
We got to continue to learn, as this process continues and building a program here in the MIAA. We got to continue to learn that to beat a nationally ranked team, you got to play for 4 quarters and you got to play at a very high level for 4 quarters. We spotted them 21 points in the first 11 minutes, and you're not going to win a lot of football games playing good opponents like that.
We just got to play catch and do what we do best, like from week 1 and week 2. We just got to be able to bring that momentum to the end of the season.
The Pitt State Gorillas are 9-0 with only 2 games remaining in the regular season. Well, earlier this afternoon, the Division II college football regional rankings came out, and that's a pretty good indicator on where we'll see where Pitt State could be placed if the season ended today. So here's the latest college football Division II regional rankings. And if you don't know what that means, well, think of it in terms as the Division I level, like the College Football Playoff Committee. Well, the season ended today. These are how the teams would be ranked. As you can see, Pittsburgh State is ranked the #1 team in Super Region 3, basically the Midwest region. And with that being said, being #1, the Gorillas would earn a bye week. A couple of other MIAA schools on this list include Central Missouri at #4 and Missouri Western at #9, who Pittsburgh State will play on the road this weekend in St. Joe. Following our KOAM Press Box show Friday night on Fox 14, you, the fans, have decided to vote for the Diamond Wildcats as our Performance of the Week. Diamond beat Sarcoxy last Friday night by a final score of 49-14. Big upset win on the road for the Wildcats. Diamond has now advanced to the Missouri Class II district semifinals, where they will travel to face the Lamar Tigers this week. Go vote for our performance of the week this week. Just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Well, the high school fall sports season is coming to an end here in Southwest Missouri. However, there's still a few district soccer games left, including some of our COC teams. Number 2 seeded Carthage Tigers face the number 3 seeded Ray Peck Panthers in the Class 4 District 6 semifinals. Carthage had a lead at one point in this game, but they fall to Ray Peck 2-1 overtime. Tough luck there. Tigers season comes to an end with a 19-5 record. Elsewhere tonight in the Class 4 District 5 tournament, number 6 seeded Neosho Wildcats men's soccer team began their postseason tonight against the number 3 seeded Nixa Eagles. Tough game for Neosho as they lose this one 6-0. The Wildcats season comes to an end at 7-11.
How about those rankings, though?
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
that's really good for Pitt State. You know, if they can just hold on for the rest of the season, they'll get a bye week, which I know last year fans were really upset that they didn't get that. They had to go on the road. But, just 2 more. Just hold on and, they can get that bye week, and that would be really beneficial for them.
Mm-hmm. Go Gorillas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll be back with more news after this. The Kiwanis Club hosted its second annual Trunk or Treat this evening at Baxter Springs High School. The purpose of the event is to bring the community together and to celebrate Halloween. Kiwanis Club hosted a drive-through trunk or treat during the pandemic and wanted to continue its outreach in the community by hosting trunk or treats for kiddos in the area.
We're hoping it will grow each year and just gives us a chance to reach out to the community and get some businesses in here and a safe opportunity for the kids and hopefully a fun opportunity for the kids.
Tonight's event began at 5 and wrapped up around 7 p.m. More than 300 people attended last year's trunk or treat, and this year's event is estimated to draw an even larger crowd. Well, pumpkins took the spotlight today at the Steadley Elementary School in Carthage. This afternoon was carved out for 3rd grade students to do experiments at the school's annual Pumpkin Lab. KOAM's Elise Noe has the story.
Steadley Elementary 3rd graders had the opportunity to have a hands-on learning experience as they combined math skills with gourds for the school's annual Pumpkin Lab. The students worked on their multiplication tools while weighing and measuring their pumpkins and counting the pumpkin ribs and seeds.
They're working on multiplying by tens, they're working on estimating, they're working on circumference.
We're opening a pumpkin at the top, and we're going to count how much seeds there are.
For 3rd grade teacher Nicole Bayless, the Pumpkin Lab has been a staple in the curriculum for the past 19 years she's been teaching.
It's one of our tried and true activities that's just a little bit more fun. It's way more fun than just sitting down and doing a worksheet about multiplication. It's a hands-on activity.
The Pumpkin Lab provides a way for students to stay engaged in the days leading up to Halloween, a holiday most kids wait for in anticipation.
Because usually when we do some of the Halloween stuff at school, we get to do some pumpkins, we get to do some candy bags, and we get to dress up.
So the kids are obviously very focused on Halloween right now. That's all that's on their mind, candy, dressing up, everything. So just to get the most out of these days surrounding a holiday, we just try to incorporate some hands-on fun math activities.
In Carthage, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
Along with learning multiplication tools, the Pumpkin Lab teaches the young students how to work together as a team. Well, with Halloween tomorrow, we take a look at some of the best horror movies to watch if you're not trick-or-treating. Up next. If a movie watching night at home is part of your Halloween plans, we've got you covered. Recommendations for scary movies to watch while the kids trick-or-treat, or films for the family. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Megan. Halloween is here and there's still plenty of time for scary movie watching. And Eric, at Voodoo, you have some fan favorites to recommend. So let's start with the favorite horror movie of 2023.
We surveyed over 2,000 movie fans and asked them for their favorite
horror movie of 2023. The winner, Megan. Of course, Scream 6 is on the list. Knock at the Cabin, which I think was an underrated M. Night Shyamalan movie. Evil Dead Rise and Cocaine Bear.
Binge watch favorite franchises of all time.
Alien actually topped the list. The Scream franchise, the Halloween movies, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and the Final Destination movies.
The Body in the Black, which were voted on as the scariest movies of all time.
The Exorcist, not surprising, that was voted as the scariest movie of all time. Of course, we have a new sequel out, The Exorcist Believer, both films now available to watch at home on Vudu. The Shining's there, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. It, the new It, not the older It, but the new It, which I actually agree with. I think that was a really well done movie, great movie. Also Halloween, the recent one, and the old classic. And then Alien again.
Picks for family movie night after trick-or-treating include a magic classic.
Hocus Pocus, always a favorite around Halloween. A Nightmare Before Christmas, also a film that's in theaters again to celebrate its anniversary. The recent Goosebumps movie I really like, and also Tim Burton's Frankenweenie.
Classics, new fan favorites, just some of many movie night recommendations for your Halloween viewing. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We leave you with video of animals at the Whipsnade Zoo digging for Halloween treats. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.